do you approach to pain management using the concept of psychology, neuroscience, pain education, or movement therapy?
I think everyone has something to offer. Every discipline has something to offer. I don't think one discipline has all the answers.
Mhm.
We call it motivational interviewing, where you you challenge without coming off as
Answers,
challenging.
I feel it requires a lot of patience also and many other challenges. So, could you please discuss some of the challenges?
I find when it comes to pain, when it comes to injury, it's very chaotic. I think people don't really understand it till they've gone through it themselves. Hi, my name is Moeen. I'm an athletic therapist as well as a performance coach. I've been practicing for the last 5 years now. And yeah, right now, currently, I'm with Cirque du Soleil.
Great. So, can you tell us more about your background and how do you become a certified athletic therapist and performance coach XPS?
Yeah, so I did my education at Concordia University in Montreal, and it's a 4-year program for a bachelor's. And after which we do have to go through a national certifying exam that certifies us to officially practice within Canada. And as for the performance coach, I did take a course with EXOS, which basically allowed me to be a performance coach working with individuals that want to increase their fitness, increase their performance, whether it comes into sports or just in life or their occupation as well.
Great. So, is there any particular reason to go into a pain management or movement therapy?
Yes, so for me, it was just the matter. There was definitely like a personal aspect of things as well for from my own personal experiences with injuries and pain that guided me to this journey. And for me, it's mostly helping individuals that struggle with dealing or managing their own pains,
Mhm.
how to rehab from their injuries, and to help them gain some sense of ownership over their lives and over their pain so that they feel more fulfilled in their lives and that they can carry on doing what they love best.
Great. So, could you please share any successful story of any of your client which motivates you to do more in this career?
Yeah, I've had quite a few, I would say. The ones that do come to mind are definitely ones that have, taken a bit more longer time, and we
Mm.
developed a relationship and understanding, and where they had periods of things were progressing well, and then something happened in your personal life or something that kind of hindered their rehab. And so, there's a whole like emotional cascade of taking, a couple steps forward and then like one step back and then trying to, get them back into the rhythm of things of keeping on with the journey and with the process. And a lot of the success stories I would say are the ones where despite things are chaotic, despite things seem like they're not going anywhere, or they're frustrated or they're upset with not being able to do what they want to do, and you could just see the emotional side of things. That coming out of that and being able to carry themselves over that, I would say those are the ones that I've had as successful stories where um, they're doing a lot better now. They send me like some pictures of like, they're back to work and then they're like, look, and then I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. Or they'll send me, some videos of like the sport that they wanted to play and now they're able to. Like, for example, one of them was a skateboarder, um, and he just struggled uh, pretty much post-COVID, like getting back into skateboarding. And it was just for him, it was like his life and his love, and he just kept having his pains issues. And we worked together for some time and he sent me a video. It's like, look, now I could do an ollie and now I could do, half pipe. And I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. Like, what else can you do now? Like, are there things that you wanted to do before that you can't, like, you want to do now? And he's like, is that possible? I'm like, yeah, like, I mean, if you want to, we can go chase that and then, we could just do it together. And so it's nice to kind of see that where like they start bringing up their ideas about stuff that they were not able to do and now they want to do, or they're realizing that they're possibly capable of doing. And that's really exciting because then I'm like, oh man, so we're doing better than just reaching back to your baseline. We're like trying to go beyond that. So that's the exciting part of like the successful stories where the clients come back and you're like, hey, can we do more?
Mhm. Wow, that's amazing. So, how do you approach to pain management using the concept of psychology, neuroscience, pain education, or movement therapy?
Yeah, so it's a couple of things. I definitely don't I don't like listening to dogmas. I'm not very I think everyone has something to offer. Every discipline has something to offer. I don't think one discipline has all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Definitely concepts of psychology, and pain science is definitely one of those things where it's very multifaceted, where you have aspects of people's behaviors, people's thoughts, feelings, beliefs, even influences from others. You know, let's say a friend or a family member had a similar type of pain or similar type of injury, and they'll, start telling their history about it and their experiences in regards to it. And then, sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not, and but it can still influence us. I think sometimes we're not aware that when people speak to us that they can influence our ways of thinking, and I think it's important to teach people to be aware of that. So that's something that I like definitely do. I'm like, I asked them like, well, why do you think this? And why do you believe in um that this hurts you or this makes things worse or what, or why do you think this is going to help you better, and it's just more of a sense of like challenging, and it's more via we call it motivational interviewing, where you you challenge without coming off as challenging. So it's more of a discussion and just to get a point of view and perspective from the other person's side of things, and to see where they're coming from, and then to see, well, where can we influence things a little bit differently, and just to have that perspective. And definitely aspects of neuroscience, the more, I mean, we've all heard it. The more neurons are wired together, they wire together. So, and then the same with the opposite. The less that they wire together, they wire apart. So, um, certain ways of thinking or certain beliefs that are maybe not very helpful when it comes to recovery and rehab. I try to challenge that, and every time there's something that's good that we've done together, I'm like, see, like you said that this didn't work last time and look, now it's working. So it's just to like, not only has the experience been there, but to acknowledge the experience. So like now you're wiring it with a more of an awareness side of things, and then we just try to do it again and again and again and again, a reminder, or like I will write it down, or we'll video it. So I'll send a video to them. So that's like a reminder for them that like, no, actually this is possible. Like we can get you to run, we can get you to walk, we can get you to jump and squat and whatever they've wanted to do that they thought they would never be able to do. And they are able to do now. We just repeatedly like show it. So those change how they start feeling about their own capabilities. And when it comes to physiology and movement therapy, I think those are great ways to kind of explore your body and have a better understanding of awareness of what you're capable of. And there's stuff like implements of yoga, implements of Pilates that I wouldn't say like I'm an instructor, but I definitely have done some and have an appreciation for those disciplines that I've implemented into my practice as well, to help people have a better understanding of their body and what they're capable of.
Got it. So while listening to your answers, I feel it requires a lot of patience also and many other challenges. So could you please discuss some of the challenges?
Yeah, so definitely one of them you mentioned is, I think, being patient is definitely one of them. I was actually having this thought earlier this morning, actually, and I find when it comes to pain, when it comes to injury, it's very chaotic. I think people don't really understand it till they've gone through it themselves. That it can be a very chaotic experience, meaning one day seems great and amazing, and then another day it's like it's all hell broke loose and everything's terrible, the world is ending. And I think as a therapist, like your role is to be that stable support. I think being anchored within yourself is very critical. And part of that is being patient, being open-minded, being empathetic, listening, because you could think, even as a therapist, sometimes you're like, oh, like things have been going well. So I'm assuming that when this person comes in, things are going to go well. And then you see them and it's not going well at all. And
Mhm.
that could throw you off guard as well, actually, as a therapist. But you definitely have to maintain that composure, that sense of patience, because that's who you are for them. Like you can't be impatient. You cannot be thrown off guard, or you cannot show that. So
Yes.
there's definitely an aspect of like stableness that I think as a therapist you need to have, because that allows trust that
Mhm.
despite things are chaotic, despite things are going crazy, this person that's coming to see you can depend on you, that as their resource of stability when things are not so stable in your life. So
Yes.
I think that's definitely a challenging part on my end, where and it took me some time to understand it, but I understand as to why, and also going through my own personal experiences of injuries and pain, I've come to understand that, like, how I was to my therapist when I've gone through those things. And so it gave me a sense of like understanding better when I've been on the other side as well. So it's definitely helpful to kind of have that two sides where you've been the patient as well, and so you can approach your patient a bit more with an understanding of how they would want you to be.
Yes, got it. So, can you speak the importance of education and empowering clients in the pain, in the pain management journey?
Yeah, so I'm a huge I think emphasize a lot on giving independence, or helping them understand their independence. Sometimes I feel when you are that sense of composure for your clients, for your patients, one thing that ends up happening sometimes, and I find that's where it's a bit difficult, is they depend on you a little too much. And I don't think that's a very healthy relationship, because at the end of the day, I want my patients, I want my clients, my athletes to be comfortable taking ownership of their own health. Like I think that's part of the journey. And so a lot of times, even early on, I will start mentioning things like, this is something that you'll do on your own. This is something that you'll,
Mhm.
just to give that tidbit of like, this is something that you can have control over. I have control over my thing and you have control over your thing. We're doing this together. This is like our journey together. I'm there to assist you. But at the end of the day, I try to wean off that process where there's less of me hands-on, there's more of me guiding, and there's more of me modifying things, and there's more of them doing. And I
Mhm.
think that process helps them understand that there's a sense of independence that comes with that. And I think if you can introduce that as quickly as possible, I think it helps that transition a lot easier, because they're already used to doing that a bit more, and it gives them a sense of ownership and independence that I think they seek after some form of pain or injury.
Yes. Got it. So, like you help the clients to get over the pain. So you must be having certain tips for the therapist also, that they so self-care toolkit, therapists need to maintain this or
Yeah.
this. So could you please share some tips for therapists as well?
Yeah, so I find that's definitely the difficult part. I find we're very good at telling people like, oh, you should take care of yourself and do this and that. And then
Mm.
when it comes to us, sometimes we're not the best. I definitely am, I'll be honest, I do struggle with that. I just find when I am a bit more aware of it, then I'm like, okay, something needs to be done. Definitely taking time for yourself, identifying things that you enjoy, and that could be a range of things, whether that's, picking up the phone, calling a friend, going out for lunch with a friend, exercising, meditation. Um, everyone has their thing, playing music, dancing. I don't know. Everyone's got their thing. So I think it's important to, as a therapist, to know what's your thing, or things that you can go towards. And then developing an awareness that, okay, like I need to do this like soon, or when was the last time I've actually had fun, or when was the last time I've actually done something for myself. And when you start asking yourself that question, um, and you realize, okay, it's been some time, then you need to address that as quickly as you can. Because we're there for others, right? Like that's
Mhm.
what we do like all the time, and I find that's part of our nature. which can be problematic because we're still human beings at the end of the day, and we still need to take time for ourselves and maintain some boundaries for us and from others as well at times, depending on your needs. But I think it's a good idea to have a better understanding of assessing. Like for me, journaling has been a great thing. It's helped me tremendously to identify when things are not going so well for me. And then I'm like, okay, well, if I'm writing this down, these are my thoughts and feelings, and I need to do something about this. So,
Got it. So, what are your future plans in pain management?
so right now, like I mentioned earlier, I'm with Cirque du Soleil
Yes.
right now. It's been a dream job of mine for 8 years now. So like I finally got the opportunity and I really want to see this through. And so for now, that's really the plan is to continue working with them, seeing what these amazing artists can do on stage, off stage as well, and seeing how I can best help them and be the best that they can be at what they do.
Got it. So, I wish you all the best for your future goals. And that's all from my side. Do you want to add anything from your side?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, thank you so much for the interview. It was great chatting with you about what I do and how I help people.
Great, great, Moin. Thank you so much for your precious time.
Thank you very much.